Episode 5, we have a new format that we're going through today with my co-host, Joey Bags.
It's me.
We're back. We wanted to do like we did in episode 1, just Joey and I, no guests this time, and we're going to be doing a new format, like I said, where we're going to go through today, and this is going to be our new intro and what we're going to do in every pod before the guest comes on. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. Joey, how the hell are you doing?
It's the same thing we talked about last week. I'm doing just fine. Fig, my new puppy, is very difficult to crate train. She's a pain in my butt. I have a mental breakdown once a day, but things are going good. Yeah, I can't complain. We're bringing the dogs home for Thanksgiving to my parents in San Francisco, so I'm super scared about putting 2 wiener dogs on a plane, 2 anxious wiener dogs on a plane. How the hell are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Definitely has been kind of like that up and down feeling with coming back from the Achilles injury.
Talk to me about life outside of running. I don't give a shit about your Achilles right now. That's next one.
I saw the Hunger Games movie last night.
Yes.
Very, very good.
I need to watch it.
It was like the intro to President Snow.
Yeah.
And his like early upbringing in the Capitol. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, which I didn't think I was going to enjoy. I thought it was going to be kind of like a cheesy prequel type thing, but it was actually very dark. And I mean, the Hunger Games in general is very dark, but this one in particular kind of really felt like it was an adult film.
Yeah.
And where the other ones felt like a little bit cheesy. I don't know.
Yeah. An adult film, you say?
a above PG-13 film, I will rephrase.
R film. Is our team becoming a movie team? Do we go back to the theaters? Are we bringing that back instead of streaming? I mean, Max has got a Cinemark subscription. He goes like 3 times a month.
We did go to Killers of the Flower Moon. Also, I went with Antonio and Austin, and that was a very, very long movie. That was tough.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get up and stretch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just the stiffness of the Achilles talking to me or what, but like that was a long film and also an even darker one, but cinematically very, very beautiful, and I love that.
Do you prefer the experience of the full movie theater on you versus just watching on the TV that you don't have in your apartment, your computer?
It all depends on the films 100%. Like I definitely don't, when there's kind of like a blockbuster type of thing, and I know like kind of this Hunger Games movie is a good example of it, where it's like, I don't know if I would have went out of my way to even see that movie if it came out on like Netflix, whereas the incentives of seeing it kind of, whatever, what's the line, the Cinemark line, where it's like, see the movie exactly how it's meant to be seen.
Yes.
Like, don't watch it on your 14-inch laptop. Watch it on this 150-inch.
Oppenheimer is in that same category.
Yeah, like I'll never watch Oppenheimer again.
Just that sound blasting you in your temples from the side was pretty nuts.
Yeah, a little too much.
No, it was perfect. I loved every second.
The last scene where he's like,
yeah,
like, and it's like very.
Who, Albert Einstein?
Yeah, Albert Einstein, where he realizes that he gave E = MC² to Oppenheimer to drop the bomb.
Right. Jeez. Well, that's a great update. Thank you for sharing with the class. How you now? Let's talk about training. Let's talk about your Achilles. How you doing running wise?
Yeah,
had a nice little procedure done.
I did.
Sorts.
So for those that haven't been listening, I got PRP injection about 7 weeks ago, and this is now in the time frame where I'm really supposed to be feeling the healing process and seeing the benefits of those injections. It's basically the PRP injection is just you take the blood plasma out of your body, they spin it to make the blood really pure, and then they inject it into a part of your body that's really inflamed. And for me, at the end of this season, both of my Achilles were kind of on the brink, and I felt like I really need to do something ahead of this Olympic year to really give myself a clean bill of health and give me the peace of mind and the confidence to know that I did everything to prepare for this year. So it's definitely stalled this whole fall build up. Like I'm still not doing the full double threshold workouts with you guys yet, or doing the hill sprints with you guys yet, which is definitely very frustrating. But at the same time, for me, I've been able to reestablish my work ethic through this injury. And I've always been really bad, typically, when I do get injured, where I don't have like a ton of motivation to cross train and do all the little things. Mm-hmm. where I feel like that is what led to these Achilles problems in the first place. And I think that is for any runner. When things are going really good, it's really easy to become complacent and just do what you're doing and think that it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at the point where I've just developed this, and there's a lot of anxiety that comes with it too, where it's like, I know the clock is ticking, that I need to start threshold training in order to be ready for the indoor season and the year as a whole. So definitely developing the attitude of just being my best every single day has gone such a long way for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is when I wake up in the morning and there's a thought of like, okay, I want to race in 10 weeks. And I start thinking about what has to be done in those weeks. It can be very daunting. And then peeling it back and having that short-term thinking for me is so healthy for me right now, to really just dial in to be your best today and what can you do today to be your best. And that is for me right now, getting my run done in the morning, resting all day as much as possible, and then getting in the weight room 3 times a week, doing the really heavy loading, the jumping, all my rehab stuff to just make those Achilles and the calves and everything ironclad again. And then doing like an hour typically of cross training on the bike or going to the pool. Mm-hmm. And that's a work ethic I did not have even last year.
Right.
Which I felt like maybe the 2022 season went so well for me that I felt like I could just keep riding that. And then I got into trouble because I just kept riding that.
For sure.
But because I've reestablished my work ethic, that's going to persist now when I do start threshold running. Like, I'm going to jump into some K repeats with you guys tomorrow.
Let's go.
And yeah, I'm pumped. And that's something that I know will continue on because now that's just part of my routine. And that's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, on the flip side, I am totally last week was quite literally what you were saying. When you're just training hard and working hard, it's just like you get complacent. I will say, having your gym in the apartment complex makes it so much more difficult to actually go to the gym because it's so close that
now
it's
you're
like
just really spoiled.
It's so close that it's like I'll make time for it later because it's a 90-second walk. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, it's 6 p.m.
Yeah.
The dogs are barking. The girlfriend wants to cook dinner. So it's like, well, looks like I'm not doing this today.
Right.
So I kind of faltered a little bit last week with that. So I think establishing that consistent routine is so important. And it's like it's really tough in the spring to keep that routine because all of a sudden, instead of, you're prioritizing the little things because training doesn't feel as rigorous versus in the spring, training feels super rigorous. So it's really hard to prioritize those small things, Right. So I think just like the more routine that you have established and the longer you can stretch that out for, the better you're going to be. It doesn't have to last till the last week, the very last race of the last week, but the longer you can stretch that routine out, the way better you're going to be off for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that I like kick myself for, where I'm like, man, I wish I kept up my jumping, my bounding. Mm-hmm. Like I wish I kept up those exercises because like you said, it's easy to get lazy when you are training and the running's going good enough,
Right.
Where you're doing the workouts, you're putting in the miles, that getting in the weight room and doing those eccentric loads or whatever they may be, rehab wise, that those are your weaknesses, and to continue to reestablish, hey, I need to stay on top of that.
Yeah.
Can go by the wayside very easily.
You're almost like satiating your palate when training's going really well. You're like, I've done the training that I've needed to do today, versus when you're cross training, you're like, I need to do so many things because swimming's not enough, biking's not enough. Right. Your load eccentrics sometimes even aren't enough. But putting that all together does give you that fix, Yeah. So it's really tough. But I mean, sometimes injuries are like the best reset mentally and physically to get you not only just like mentally ready to go and like super hungry, but also just like to finally correct those things that have been bugging you. And like get them right. So it's like you're almost a different runner or an evolved runner.
Yeah. So last week I did 61 miles. I got to count every mile I can get right now. It was my first time running every single day, which was very exciting. I'm going to pull up Final Surge right now and go through it very quickly. So on Monday, I did 8.5 miles in an hour, no strides, and then I did a 70-minute bike and lift in the afternoon. On Tuesday, this is a very boring week of training. Yours is going to be much more entertaining. I did 8.5 miles in 57 minutes, a bit quicker. And then on Wednesday, very exciting, I did my first little workout where I jumped in with you guys. I also convinced Austin on the fly, who's also coming back from an injury, to jump in. And we were doing our photo shoot for the new collection. So that was nice to, have that line up where we are shooting and filming. To have that first one back also just gave that like mental kind of stimulus and excitement, which was great. I just did 6x800 when you guys were doing 2Ks. So I would just jump in and out of your 2Ks and basically run a mile within those 2Ks. And we basically just ran like 2:35s around that 5:15 pace around there.
Right.
And it felt great, like cardio wise, it felt really good. And I was really excited about that. And no soreness or anything after. So then I lifted again in the afternoon and then did an hour and 20 minutes on the bike. And the bike stuff is really easy because I just play Catan the whole time. Like I'll just play like 1 or 2 games and I'll just, I didn't think I would be able to play as I'm doing my cross training, but on the stationary bike, you really can just do the small little clicks and I can really keep up the rhythm.
Yeah.
You would think you'd be slowing down when you play because you're like concentrating on trading and stuff like that, but
turns
you
out
can get it done. You can get it done.
Your RPMs are just at the
roof. Yeah, my heart rate just skyrockets when I'm starting to lose and really skyrocket
when I'm saying when you're playing, your RPMs go down because you're not paying attention to biking.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. That's why I didn't do it at first. And when I saw Austin was doing it, because he would send me pictures of the end of his bike with like him losing or winning his game or whatever.
Mainly losing.
Yeah, mainly losing. A lot of losing for Austin. He's been bitching to me constantly about how badly he's been losing. I just got back into diamond level today. Yeah. So I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I had 2 big wins yesterday. So the biking flies by now and it's very easy to do. Thursday, another hour, 8 miles, did an hour swim sauna in the afternoon to flush my body out. Did not get in the pool as much as I wanted to. Friday, guess what? Another hour, 8 miles. Basically just did 8 miles every day.
An hour a day.
And then Friday, that afternoon, I saw Dr. Glani, who did my PRP injections, and we got him a follow-up. And he basically looked at my Achilles tendons and looked at the health of them. And he said that, like, the tissue within my Achilles tendon on both sides were, like, completely new tissue, like, fresh tissue. And that was really exciting to hear. It mainly was just, like, my soleus and gastroc and like plantaris, like all the muscles around the Achilles that were still pretty like beat up and scar tissue and like needed some extra work done. Need to get for those watching on YouTube, we need to get light back on. Motion sensor.
Line.
And then I just ran 6 miles after I got hydrodissection done, which was to clear up that scar tissue, the fascial. It's basically like really intense dry needling where it's ultrasound guided needle that goes in and basically like breaks up any muscle tissue that's like stuck or whatever it may be. So that was stressful to get. And they basically like inject this it's like called like D5. It's like not like a steroid or anything. It's basically just this like lubricant for your muscles.
Yeah. Good. Not a steroid. Very
exactly.
Good.
Yeah. So I got that done. And then basically the run on Saturday was just 6 miles after getting that procedure done and definitely felt pretty wonky. And then I did a long run, 12 miles, longest run, 12 miles in an hour and 24 minutes. And that was the longest run I've done so far. And I just did that from my apartment and ran Cottonwood down Jay's and then Twin Lakes and back, which was great to be able to run that far again. Definitely did not enjoy it that much because of the hydrodissection. Like I still was feeling like the pains and stuff. So like pressing off and just like didn't feel the way I wanted to. So I was like a little discouraged after it because I was expecting just kind of like to feel great after that type of treatment, but need to let the tissue reheal. So that was my week.
6 miles is a good week for that.
Yeah. No doubles or anything yet, but to get like a workout and a long run in is definitely a huge step from the week before. And it's easy when you're coming back from an injury is to just constantly be thinking like, oh, where you want to be, of course, where it's like, oh, you want to be doing full this, full that, where it's like 2 weeks ago, all I wanted to do was to try to run an hour every day. Yeah. And now I'm doing that and then some. So I definitely can't lose sight of that.
That's big time.
Yeah. Give me a rundown of your much more exciting week.
Oh gosh. Let me go back to the old final surge in my brain. Joan gets mad at me for logging, but I can probably tell you about every single run that I've done in the past year. That's like my superpower.
Yeah,
almost.
Drew can do that too. And even with like old videos, he can see an old video and be like, oh yeah, we did 6 times 600.
Like if we
hills.
if,
I'm like,
if Joan and I wanted to go over training and I didn't have a single like note logged, I could probably, if I just saw a map and the splits, I could tell you exactly what we did and how I felt.
yeah, my memory is so bad with that type of stuff. Like, yeah, I couldn't do that.
Shout out Joan, making me log.
That's why you're going to be a great coach one day, you know, because you just have a memory bank of workouts in your head.
Yeah. All right. So fun fact for me, I was in Salt Lake City last weekend for my good buddy Graham McClone's
I forgot you went to that.
National Club Water Polo Championships.
Shout out, Graham.
Shout out Graham, PhD student at UC San Diego. He's Pilot.
Bachelor?
No, he's got a girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not a single bachelor.
Sorry.
Taj is lovely. Shout out Taj.
For all the single ladies listening to TikTok Pod,
Yeah.
Graham's off the market. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I went to Salt Lake City for a couple days to watch him play. He comes to every single meet that I race, pretty much. He came to...
And he's pumped, too.
Yeah, and he's psyched. Like, he's been doing that since basically day one of college, which is pretty insane. But I watched him play. They won the national championship, second year in a row.
Wow.
They've won the national championship. He was the tournament MVP.
What?
And probably soon to be named National Player of the Year.
Are you
Which he also won last year. Yeah. Graham's good.
Oh my God.
He was an All-American in college and then played pro for a couple years in France.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's very good.
He was at that level.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was just messing around.
Well, he's 29 and he's playing against 18 to 22
Good.
year old, like undergrads,
Good.
You know, and a couple
Show
of
him what's up.
A couple of Eastern European.
So he's basically like BYU runner of water polo.
He's the BYU runner.
He's Jared Ward in the hotel room before NCAA's my freshman year with his baby.
Exactly.
And then my coach then telling me, oh no, you're racing him tomorrow.
Right.
And being
That's
like,
not a coach.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So yeah.
I wonder if Jared remembers that because that was cemented in my memory.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great weekend for Graham playing water polo. It was an awful weekend for me running. I just had to run from the hotel off the highway, and that really that knocked me out. 2 days of watching water polo in a row. So I got back Monday.
Tough to watch water polo. It really wears you out.
Dude, we watched the game before, we watched Graham's game, we watched the game after. It was tough. It was really tough, but it was great to see him.
Did you have fireflies on or what?
I did. Yeah, not during the games. No,
I put my fireflies on also during the movie, and I think that's definitely helped.
Yeah.
I did not bring him to Killers of the Wildflower, so that was
Killers of the Perks of the Wallflower.
Perks of being a wallflower.
Yeah. Can I get some of my training now?
Yes. Sorry.
So I got back on Monday morning.
This podcast is gonna be way too long.
I flew back early Monday morning, and I felt awful. So I ran 7 miles at like 4 p.m. I think, just like pretty slow.
That's an Antonio.
That's a lazy man.
That's a
run. True lazy bone run.
Yeah.
But after that, I felt okay. So I got back in my rhythm. Tuesday we had skills and drills in the morning. So I did 9 with some wickets, 6x50 yard wickets.
Shout out wickets.
They're phase 2.
Wickets are back. Phase 2.
Wickets are back. Phase 2 of my training, of my speed development.
You think Abdi's ripping wickets? Do you think Abdi and
he better.
Mike Smith Elite boys are ripping wickets?
If he wants to win against me, he better be ripping wickets. If he wants to.
Shots fired. U.S. 5K champs called out.
You're closing 221 for your last K? How about 219? Shout out Abdi. I love that guy.
He is the best. Real quick, I need to tell my Abdi. I'm sorry, you're never going to get through this. My Abdi story is just so good.
Yeah.
After one of my absolute bottom race, Drake relays, you remember that? Very, very low after that race. This kid, never met him in my life, comes up, daps me up, and he's like, hey, man, big fan, love what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And that in that moment when I was just down and out after that race meant the world to me.
He's just the most positive guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, infectious energy. And
I'd call him a kid because he's younger than us, but he's kicking everybody's butts.
Oh, yeah.
That's a grown-ass man out there. Yeah. So Tuesday, wickets, and then a 4-mile double in the afternoon. Wednesday was our double threshold day. So AM, we did 5x2K starting at 5:19. We worked our way down to, it was 6:39. And we worked down to 6:31 was our fastest one. I think we ran like 6:32 in our last one. So basically 5:15 to 5:18, 5:19 pace off of 200 jog in 90 seconds. So super slow. And then came back in the afternoon on a super lumpy dirt road that was recommended, which we won't do anymore.
Ogallala Road.
Drew, Antonio, and I ran Ks, and I did 9 And I didn't want to do 10 just for the sake of not overtraining. So, and we started at 319, worked down to 3.
Because 19K of training is not overtraining. Well, 20K of training.
Well, here's the thing. That was my second double threshold session of the season so far. And my first one, I did only 8 miles of work total. And now I did 11. So I just didn't really want to do that extra K, you know? So that was good. It was not very hard. It's more like pounding the legs, you know, which I think is going to be super productive come, you know, this whole track season, and especially for my cross country race. Yeah. Because my legs started going at like 6K, 7K.
It's going to be interesting to see how you incorporate cross country training into the double threshold work, because a huge aspect of the double threshold training is you need to control all the variables so much in order to make sure you're not overworking. Like, not having hills is like essential in double threshold training.
For sure. Yeah.
Just to make sure you don't spike and then all of a sudden have a little bit of lactic build up and then you're not doing threshold anymore.
We've run on the track so much that, you know, it's not going to be an issue, I don't think, but it's really teaching me patience. Like, I got so impatient during US Cross last year. I was like, there's too many guys around me. I got to go. I was getting like anxious, you know, like getting anxiety, and that like kind of like burnt me out a little bit mentally. By the time it was time to go, I was like, I just had exhausted myself mentally and physically. I didn't realize how tired I was already getting just because I was so wrapped up in it. So I think it's really going to teach me a lot of patience going into this year.
Nice.
So that's Wednesday. Thursday, I did an easy 7 again, and I did that at like 2 p.m.
Lazy, man.
Yeah, that was a lazy man run. You know why? Because I had Dill training in the morning. I had to take him to Sit Mean Sit in Frederick, shout out, for training. It was turkey Thanksgiving training, so they left plates of food on the ground and on tables, and we basically had to walk around them.
This sounds like the opposite of training.
Yeah, we had to.
This sounds like you're giving your dog.
Sounds like breakfast. Yeah, Dill was the.
Sounds like you're teaching your dog how to beg at Thanksgiving.
Dill was the only dog to actually take a bite of food.
All the dogs are like, no, fuck this shit. We get way better stuff at home.
They like told us to like put the dog on the bench of the table, and they put the plates down on the bench, and Dill jumped up immediately, beeline to turkey, just took a huge chop. I was like, Dill.
I love the videos of dogs when they like eat all the food. You know what I mean? Like, if there's multiple dogs and the one dog just eats everyone's food.
That's Dill. Yeah. Fig's even worse. So that was Thursday. Friday was again 9 and 4 with wickets. Same thing as Tuesday. That's part of my routine. Day before workouts is always going to be some kind of like 9 and 4, 10 and 5 variation. Saturday was hills. We did 2 sets of 8 by 200 meter hills, starting out at 35 low. And we closed in 30. Antonio must have closed in a 24 for his last hill. Absolutely destroyed
Something
us.
like that.
So I'm really excited for him for BU.
If you want to see that video, go to our Instagram and see a video of him doing his.
Maybe share it.
His box. It was. I did watch watching back the video that I took was very funny because you're like keeled over on the ground and Antonio's like literally like shadow boxing above you. And I'm like, it's kind of savage by Antonio. Like, is he Muhammad Ali you right now? Like, dude, like
low-key like sold. I knew I wasn't going to be able to like run hard on the last couple. So I really tried to take it out of him on the first 14 by like running consistently hard. And that just, again, teaching myself patience, that just screwed me up.
Because Antonio was the new guy, it was very cute for him, like the nerves he had before the hill repeat. Like, he must have asked Drew 3 times on the warm-up, like, so how fast are we doing these today? He's like, bro, they're just gonna stride out.
Drew and I are like, we gotta run these dang hills, and Antonio was like, oh, I gotta run these hills, like I can't wait.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he obviously has a little more anxiety, like saying that he's got to nail these
for sure
with the race.
Yeah, but you race in 10 days.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he races, just because like he's only really done threshold, and that those 200 hills are like the first thing he's done even remotely at race pace.
He's gonna need him. I don't think he needs.
I don't think so either.
Like, he's gonna be fine.
It was pretty crazy to hear Hobbs Kessler talk in Croatia with us.
Yeah,
where he was like going into like 800 meter races where he just did threshold training beforehand. Yeah, and he ran great at the end of that season.
World mile champ.
There's definitely something to that. Sounds like a great way to train. What was your finish mileage at?
I'm not done yet. Sunday was 9 miles. Easy. Yeah. I went to Brogan had a workout, and I went to said workout. Brogan said, I'll be there at 8 a.m. So guess when I show up? 8 a.m. Guess where Brogan is? Already warming up. So I ran 9 miles by myself.
Brogan's the only guy on the team that will start a workout before the desired. Anyone else, like if that's me, I'm getting there 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
8:20 start, maybe.
That's exactly what I did.
Just doing all my old man drills, you know.
So 86.77 miles on the week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to do that afternoon 3-mile double, huh?
No, don't double on the easy days. No doubling on recovery days. It's always the day before workouts and the day of workouts.
Interesting.
I'm doing doubles. That's part of like my routine of like keeping myself accountable. It's like never fish for mileage. Like if you want to add a mile or two here, like that has to be planned out at the beginning of the week. So I should hit 95-ish this week.
Yeah. Can't chase the number. Whatever comes, whatever falls your way falls your way.
Yes.
All right. New segment for you guys.
That took a while.
New segment. Stock up, stock down. Basically, we're just going to talk about anything in life, running, pop culture that we feel like
pop culture.
You got to buy the stock because it's rising, or you got to sell the stock because they're just not they or them or whatever. The activity, whatever team, person we'll talk about today. Maybe is struggling a little bit. And we're just going to go over a little bit of that. We're going to start with stock down.
Okay.
First one right off the bat, no brainer. I originally just wrote down Bowerman, but I changed it to just Oregon running because unfortunately with the Bowerman departures, that's tough to deal with losing, your two, I'd say, figureheads of the team.
For sure.
With Grant and Elise, your two American record holders. And then with the Oregon men's team not qualified for NCAA cross country. They have so much talent on their team, and having Jerry Schumacher as your distance coach, I know he just got there, but like they got to make it, like that's definitely something that like, I'm sure those guys are pretty bummed about that.
Yeah.
And then, with the Oregon Track Club guys, the exodus there also. So it's crazy that Oregon Track Club and Bowerman, and Bowerman's not going anywhere, but Oregon Track Club now, like those three kind of like tiers of like teams that are the heartbeat of Oregon, like are definitely struggling right now. Departures and getting their swagger back.
Yeah.
Like I have no doubt with like Simeon and Connor and those young Reinhardt, those young guys, like they're going to be a powerhouse one day. Yeah. And very soon. But definitely a tough year.
So what you're saying is just Eugene right now.
I guess Eugene specifically.
I had thought about that one too. Eugene is not the most desirable place in the world to go right now. Yeah. From an outside perspective.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've had firsthand accounts from multiple of my good friends on Bowerman, that are even still on Bowerman that like say like, or people that have left Bowerman also, that Eugene was a big part where they were not excited. To like leave Portland and have that no longer be a part of their training routine, like being at Nike headquarters. Like that was not something they wanted. Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest driving force behind these.
It's just going to require just like a full rebuild almost. Like you just get the right people in place where it's like, that's all they know. Like Duncan, Hamilton, and Charles Hicks, that's going to be all they know. I'm just like, this is where we train. This is what we do. This is our routine. There's not going to be a lot of switch ups from there. So you just need guys like that to lead the charge.
And with Nike's backing, like Bowerman's going to bounce back. Like they're going to sign more girls, like, just right this second, losing that definitely hurts.
For sure. Yeah. That's a good one. All right. I have a lighthearted one to start us off. Stock down, the half tights and half calf socks look for cross country racing.
The half tights and half tights. What?
Half tights and half calf socks.
Half socks. Gotcha.
That is down.
Why?
Because Graham Blanks won in split shorts and no-show socks. Nice. I did a little bit of research. Nice. Top 4 at NCAAs this year, all wearing split shorts.
Really?
Drew Bosley.
Bullshit. Kai Robinson was wearing.
Kai Robinson was not wearing half tights, was he? No.
I thought Kai Robinson was a mainstay.
I thought Kai Robinson was like a always wear split shorts kind of guy. Charles Hicks for sure half tights.
You're right. I think you're right.
Somebody's gonna have to fact check us on that because I didn't even I saw Kai Robinson. I was like, he for sure wears shorts. Yeah. And I went down the line.
No, I think you're right.
Okay, so did
Bosley not wear half tights?
Bosley got 5th, but he wore half tights. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Half tights and half calves.
Good.
Last year,
Bosley holding it down for the half tight gang.
But last year, the top 3 out of the 5 were half tights and half calf socks. This year, top 4 out of 5 wore shorts. So split shorts are back. Half tights are down.
Yeah, Antonio really wants a pair of split shorts for BU.
So do I. I would love a pair of split shorts to go along with our kit.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. I just
Shout out
will
St.
never
Parsons.
race in split shorts, so
Yeah.
you won't catch me.
White
slipping.
split shorts just scare me a little bit.
They're great.
All right.
I did at NC State, so you gotta have some swagger.
All right. If you say so. All right. Go.
I put Flagstaff down just because it snowed today, and
Okay.
Boulder it's gonna snow Friday in Boulder, and
Maybe.
Flagstaff got snow first, so stock down Flagstaff.
Stock down Flagstaff. I like that.
You're up.
I was checking the weather to see if it was actually going to snow. This is another fun one. Stock down Eurocross. Boring.
No.
Jakob out. Boring. Sorry.
Stop.
Not mad
Stop.
about it. Don't feel bad at all. It's boring. Jakob's not there. Bad. See ya. Stock down.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it is stock down with Jakob not there, but if Jimmy Gressier also is not running,
Yeah.
that would be tough.
It would-
The
it
Jimmy
would be-
Gressier cross sellies are iconic.
It would be super unfortunate if people saw that and said, "Oh, I don't want to race anymore." Like I hope.
I think it'll do the exact opposite.
I hope it
think any
ignites.
European all of a sudden is going to be like, wait a second,
I
I
can
can medal.
Yeah.
I can win. You know, because that door is now open, which
Well,
is a huge.
Who do you think's going to win now?
I did see Mokatir racing cross.
Yeah,
did
it was
one of
sick
his big
in
sprint
Italy.
races.
Yeah.
In Italy. So hard to count him out, but I will go with the hometown favorite because it's in Brussels this year, Isaac Camelli.
Oh yeah.
I think he's just at his prime of his career right now. He's a 10K runner. He's tough as nails. Home course. He's run it. Same mud that
Yeah.
they ran at Nationals. I'm pretty sure it was the same course. So I just think having that hometown
Yeah.
advantage is just such a huge advantage.
I want to see Emil Keres win.
Yeah,
I think it'd be sick.
I
watch him
hope
run.
he does it too. He ran amazing this past year in Torrance. So
That was a joking one. That was a fun one.
that was a good one. I put USATF road races down just because I think this was like a Twitter thing recently where I thought it was ridiculous how USATF, and I've always thought it's like crazy how they basically just whatever K, they just add it.
Yeah.
5K, 10K, 8K,
15K,
15K, 20K, 25K.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They have it all.
And it's like, imagine how cool it would be to have this just like triple crown, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and they're really big and they're really important.
Right,
And they're in these key parts of the year where you're going to get everyone.
Right.
Where you're going to get freaking Woody versus Grant Fisher running the 5K, and you're even going to get those guys doing the 10K too, you
Right.
know? It's like the 10K USATF championships don't even have sometimes like Klecker. Like,
don't have-
how is Klecker not rolling up to USATF 10K like road championships? That should be more important, and there should be way more money in it. And instead, they spread out their money across all these events, and it's just ridiculous. And so
I don't think it's
I'm going to say
USA
stop down.
I don't think it's USATF's money. I think they do that because
The individual races.
it's the individual races, prize purses, and then they just add a little bit on top of that.
Gotcha.
So I totally agree. Like, let's make it just like 4 races, but they have to beef up that prize
It
money.
just dilutes.
This is how people like make money on the roads
For
too,
sure,
which is
for
like the
sure.
hardest part.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the sport is hard enough to make money, but I just think that how cool would it be to have like a USA 5K championships and have the best guys in it?
Yeah.
That's basically my.
At an opportune time of the year, not in
Sure.
early November.
Yeah,
Even though
exactly.
during the marathon.
And the
it's-
only way you get them to show up is you got to give it meaning, and you got to give them money.
yeah, for sure.
And if they had those two things, I don't know if those races take away from it, but I know they don't do that in other countries.
yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah.
That's a solid one. All right, I only have one more, so after this we're gonna have to go to stock up.
Yep.
Here's my stock down. Worrying about whether the winner of NCAA Cross is American or not.
It's an
I
interesting one.
think that is the dumbest thing. Every time it's somebody wins, it's like this is the when Graham Blanks won this weekend, it was like this is the third American in the past 20 years
Yeah.
to win it, or American-born runner to win NCAA Cross. It's like
Yeah.
what kind of like bullshit is that? Like
Yeah.
it's funny. I made a joke with you during the race. It was Graham Blanks and Kai Robinson running, and then the two OK State guys right behind them.
Yeah.
And I made a joke. It was like some dude who ran in the NCAAs in like 1950s is just like, salivating. He's like, wow, 2 hardworking Americans getting after it on the cross country course. Harvard and the Stanford kid, good kids.
Even
it's
though
just
Kai
like,
Robinson is Australian, but sure.
Damn it. Sorry. Two hardworking, a Stanford kid and a Harvard kid. Cut.
Yes, I know what you mean, but it's ridiculous because anybody that knows any true NCAA history is it has always been an international league. It's
Right.
not an American league, you know?
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, it maybe just the All-American title is just wrong. Like it should be like NCAA. No, I don't even know how to call it. Like All-American is across all collegiate sports.
You know, they just used to give All-American to only the top Americans, right? Like, I don't know how long ago.
Really?
They used to
because UTEP, like the greatest NCAA cross team ever, like they basically swept NCAAs.
Yeah.
And they with just like straight Kenyans, you
Right.
know, on that historic team. And it's always been like nothing's changed, you know. Like maybe people notice it more just because there's more social media and like, you know, attention for it in that regard. But other than that, like, yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, just leave it to the Let's Run guys to bring that up every single year. It's so annoying. I hate it. It's just like, dude, get over it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, tough.
stock down. Boring.
All right. Now the fun stuff. Stock up. This one goes along with my Oregon running one is Blacksburg running is up.
Blacksburg running.
Blacksburg running is up. Shout out.
Max.
Shout. Our producer here, Max, is a VT alum, so that is not the reason I said that. The reason is because of Cole Hawker and Cooper being in Blacksburg, Virginia now. New running mecca, if you will.
Yeah.
Ben Thomas is back.
Right.
The old Oregon coach. It's an exciting time.
It's good
for
time
Blacksburg
to be
running.
A Hokie.
Yeah, and to see Cole and Cooper back,
It warms my icy heart.
Yeah.
It melts my icy heart.
Those guys were unfreaking touchable
They were fun.
when they were at Oregon together, and I'm looking forward to see them have the swagger back together in Blacksburg. Maybe they're just going to hate each other.
No. Never. That's a good one. I like that one.
Stock up is way more fun.
Stock up is fun. And I don't know why. It's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as excited because mine aren't as good
Yeah.
as I feel like my stock downs were very creative.
Yeah. No, they're
my
good.
stock ups
They're
aren't
good.
very creative.
They're good.
I'm going to say stock up. This is along the same wavelength. I have two that are along the same wavelength that you just said.
Just put them together then.
All right. The first one is Boulder and the Boulder versus Flag.
No snow.
The Boulder versus Flag debate. With Elise Cranny joining Team Boss now, I think Boulder has the clear advantage in terms of what's better, Boulder or Flagstaff.
Yeah. That pack of Flagstaff Under Armour men
Yeah.
are pissed
Don't
now.
get me wrong. They're all fantastic runners. Like it's like I think we just like have barely like
Yeah, I mean Under Armour, we can just put Under Armour stock up.
Sure. Yeah.
Like Dark Sky team, you know.
They get everybody
They
the sun.
keep recruiting, you know. Yeah, they get everyone. Edwin Kurgat, maybe.
Is that sustainable long term though? From a business perspective.
I mean, like every team, you know, like we've experienced this past year, what Bowerman experienced, you know, like you're gonna have turnover regardless. So I think the hardest part of that is like with team culture and like maintaining a strong like unit. I think it's hard when you're constantly bringing new people and you don't have people that are staying for a long time or just people that are jumping from another team, you know, that are joining. So I think that's the only unsustainable part.
I think
It's just like long-standing team culture that people can easily digest and understand.
I think
who they're cheering for, but
Flag is becoming the E10 in the United States, where E10 has like 200 guys running around the track at the same time, and it's just like you just show up to the NAU track and you just hop in the workout that everybody else is doing.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool, but you have to understand that won't be like a team culture, and I think a lot of those guys, they probably do have really good relationships with other guys on that Dark Sky team, but I feel like if there is going to be more and more turnover as you go, because the more guys you add, the more you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's just a law of big numbers if you understand what that is. I was an economics major in college, so I kind of understand what that is.
Nice, dude.
I don't know if I even said the law right, but yeah, it's just like that's going to be a like really good like training scenario where you're always going to have somebody around your level that's running really well. However, I do think from a like head-to-head perspective, I think Boulder has the slight edge right now.
Yeah, I mean, OAC.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
hard to beat.
Tinman.
Hard to beat that.
Ever heard of them? The only thing that's hurting us right now is that like NAU is very like dominant over CU. And
yes,
back in 20, what?
We got Adams State, bro. Did they win D2?
That's not Boulder. They did not win D2.
Oh, you said Boulder versus Flag.
I said Boulder v Flag, not Colorado.
Yeah, I guess Arizona versus Colorado would be too wide range.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, good one.
Stock up, Boulder. And along that same wavelength, Boston, stock up. Boston as a training hub is a stock up. Just with Graham winning NCAAs. Like, that is a reasonable place to train now. And I think with the New Balance group, like, I think they're finally, like, showing themselves as, like, a team. Maybe it's just a social media thing, but I used to never really think of themselves as a team. They're giving me, like, a bit of a dark sky energy. And then who else trains there? I'm blanking. Molly Seidel trains there, right? Used to. She trains in Flag now.
Flag.
She goes, maybe Flag is up.
Flag is up.
Flag's up.
I think the Dark Sky has great energy. Like, they had the big Friendsgiving and everything recently.
Okay.
Like,
Are you sure that was Dark Sky?
I thought so.
Atlanta Track Club had it too, so I'm not sure if you're seeing it.
Atlanta, stock up.
Atlanta Track Club, stock up. Luciano Fiore, shout out. Gucci Luci.
Exactly. I said my next stock up is Ekiden Prep. Stock up. Ekiden stock can't get much higher, so it's hard to buy Ekiden stock with, like, how much the viewership is. Like, they have more viewers than, like, the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, in Japan. Like,
That's
it
massive.
is insane. We really need a new light system here for our YouTube watchers. Lights keep cutting out. But their Sweat Elite, I think, has, like, made this new, like, account that has been following strictly that. They've gone to Japan and they've been, like, filming the universities.
That's sick.
And it's been so cool to see. Those guys are working so incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Like, it is very cool to see.
They have so many 210 marathoners in Japan.
And you watch these videos and you'll understand why. Like, even the Instagram clips, it's like they have these packs. Like, you think seeing a Flagstaff video of, like, a train on a track is crazy. Like, see some video where they have, like, 50.
The infinity circle around the track.
Infinity circle. Just, exactly. The Japan.
Perfect harmony.
Yeah. You got anything else? Stock up?
This one's just, like, pretty lighthearted. Dave Smith. And I say that because OK State is back to the OK State that, like, we almost grew up with,
right,
in the NCAA. Like, going into college when I was a senior in high school, it was like OK State is by far the best place to go.
Yeah.
Like, you want to get good at running, go to OK State.
Yeah.
And now they're back. They're back to that. They dominated NCAAs.
It was pretty cool to see, like, in the interviews with, like, Mike Smith, where he said, like, it's going to take, like, 70 points to win nationals. And I'm pretty sure that's, like, almost exactly what NAU ended up scoring. It was, like, in the 70s or low 70s. And then Oklahoma State scoring, what was it, like 49?
Yeah.
Like, that is an insane result. Like, that is some UTEP shit where it's like,
yeah.
I mean, their fifth runner was 15th. Like, no one's touching that.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. OK State. My last one is that, the little floating running thingy, where, like, you look like you're floating when you're moving side to side, like that side shuffle.
The Jupil slide, is that what it's called?
Is that what it is?
I'm not
up with the lingo, but like the video I've seen, like, football players do it now, where they will do the slide where they're doing this, like, side step.
Yeah.
Where it looks like they're not touching the ground, they're just floating across the end zone. And then I saw the track clip of the kid with the baton. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
In the relay, just start hitting it. And it's
been a thing for a couple years now.
Yeah, but the stock is up even higher now that it's going viral.
I've been seeing those videos for years, but it's becoming big now because
I
NFL
want someone on Tinman Elite to learn that, and us to post it.
Who's the one person that could learn that?
Definitely not.
Yeah, due process of elimination here.
I think Austin might have the
Austin
best
might be the
chance.
best, yeah.
Austin's got a nice little bounce, you know.
I was going to say not Reed.
He's got good rhythm. Definitely not Reed. There's a very quick elimination on who can't do this on the team.
I think Drew would be really bad.
You've been doing a lot of jump roping.
Yeah.
So you might have a little bit of
spring.
Who can dance. Antonio might have a little Spanish.
Maybe, a little Spanish flair, a little ritmo, as they call it.
All right, that's it for Stock Down, Stock Up. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
I am so bent out of shape that I included Kai Robinson in that American.
That's all right.
Please forgive me.
Podcast.
I know you watched the
podcast would not be the same if there wasn't mess ups like this. We're gonna wrap up with our last two segments quickly, since my producer is giving me the hurry up sign. Our questions are going to be, we asked you guys send us questions in. We're going to answer them quickly. First one, when is the new product dropping? From Andy.
Friday in New Mountain Time. Same time it always drops.
Same time as always, baby.
Yeah.
Winter collection, new tree design. I think it's very symbolic with where our team is at right now.
Do you want to go over it really quick? The tree design? I can.
Yeah, sure.
Pull
You
up
want to
the button.
grab some of the product?
Verb.
I really felt like this collection and the logo was, I feel like definitely the tree logo is something that is done quite often on product, and I've kind of never wanted to do it because I feel like it's something that's a little bit overdone, but I felt like this was the right time to do something a little different. And we have the tree logo, which is like your classic evergreen that you see here in Colorado.
Real nice.
And then I guess the key part of this is that we have this like axe, which is actually, like, if you look close enough, it is the axe that is one half of our logo leaning up against a tree here. And we did this logo, like when we were first coming up with the Tinman Elite logo, we wanted a symbol of blue collar, hard work. And I think a lot of people don't understand it's not like a Viking axe that's, you know, this back-to-back axe. It's actually just one axe, two axes that are back-to-back. And that was symbolic of us as a team holding each other up.
Right.
And the axe is a symbol of like consistent blue-collar hard work. And I feel like that is such a translation of running, is that like in order to chop down a tree, you need to hit it the right way consistently over time in and time again in order to get that thing down. And that is the symbolism of the logo. And it was very nostalgic for me. And the video that we're going to post on Friday is going to have a lot of those like old nostalgic clips in where it is this feeling of, starting anew. And I think that's kind of where our team is at right now. So
yeah, totally.
that's like that. I always, basically all the collections, when I'm coming up with the design, shout out my wonderful girlfriend Morgan for doing the design, and Max and Kevin for doing all the visuals for this collection, that I wanted the pieces, whether for Long Live TME when we did the skeleton, where it really felt like we were dead, what I mean? But we're going to keep persisting. So it's that dead skeleton still, winning and hitting through that banner. And then the cycle collection, being this time period where it felt like we were just stuck in this cycle of doing the same thing over and over again. So they're all very like symbolic of where we're at as a team. Yeah. And I feel like this is that's what this is right now also. Yeah.
New beginnings.
Yeah. Exactly.
A new tree to chop down.
Yeah. And that is actually a great segue into the next question, is from Ryan. Any new recruits on the horizon?
Yes.
Yeah, we obviously don't want to spill the beans just because we want to give them a proper announcement and everything, but we do have contracts signed right now for a new male runner, 5K runner. Very excited to have him as a training partner. Definitely, I'm very excited just because I know I'll be doing a lot of my training with him this spring. And then 2 women, which we are very, very excited about.
Women's team is back.
Yes. Losing Tori sucked.
Yeah.
That was tough. We all love Tori and having her presence around at practice. So to be able to have that female presence at practice again is going to be awesome. And to sign, like, I think a huge thing with like Tori that was so tough was it was just her all the time.
For sure. Yeah.
And to now, like, we knew that this recruiting cycle, we needed, if we were going to recruit another female runner onto the team, we needed to also be sure that they had someone else.
Absolutely.
So that's really exciting. And that news will be coming out sometime in December. So stay tuned for that. And then our last question from Colin is, how do you deal with the time between seasons, cross country and track?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
You're looking at me. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like we can't relate on a huge level because I feel like our cross country seasons are so late. that, like, for example, I'm racing January 20th.
I mean, your
and
cross country and track seasons are basically together.
yeah.
But can you think back when you were doing it?
You know, I relate it to like almost like being like training right now. Like I have 2 months until my my race, like my championship, my like first race, which is like my big championship race. Like I think that's what's different about college run or pro running versus like high school and college running, is that you don't have to race until the championship race if you don't want to. And I think that's the approach that Joan and I are taking this year. So I've basically been already training for 6 weeks, and I still have another 8 weeks until the race. And I think it goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's just like you have to establish a routine to like almost keep you sane. You know, it's really tough to, you know, especially when you're young and you don't have a race on the horizon, it's really difficult to kind of stay motivated and, you know, see that race like to kind of hype you up and keep you going. But I think having that routine, having that constant reminder of like, this is what's going to make you good. Like, for example, you know, a week before I started training again, I wrote down like road to Olympic qualification in my notes, and I just wrote down my entire routine. And whenever I go to the gym, whenever I'm doing any like pre or post run activations, like I'm looking at that list of things to do, like on month, you know, it's mainly now it's day before workout routine, day of workout routine, and then recovery day routine, which is way less, but it's all under that like road to Olympic qualification thing. So that kind of keeps my head on straight. Like,
So having a big goal.
yeah, having a big goal,
super like
important.
an overarching goal.
Yeah. And just knowing that like every day is going to be important and reaching that goal. Because next you know, like before you know it, that race is going to be 3 weeks away, and you don't want to be going, oh shit, I haven't really been doing the things that I needed to do to get to this point, you know? So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that the goal thing is the biggest thing for sure, is like if you know why you are training, it is so much easier to train hard.
right.
And going into the next season, you need to write down your goals. You need to establish them so you know why you are going out for your run on Christmas Day, or, you know, why you're going to cross train, or why you're going to like work on your adductors or calves or whatever your weakness is to reaffirm why you're doing this, and is the most important thing. And if you had a bad cross country season or you had a bad last season, take the time to reflect on it. What went wrong? Was it your mental game that wasn't right? How do you fix that? And I think really reflecting on it, and then from that reflection, create goals to figure out why you are going to achieve those goals, is going to be such a thing that's going to take you such a long way.
Yeah.
In your training in between those 2 seasons is all of a sudden, if you have that purpose and that why, it's going to make it all so much easier.
For sure. Yeah.
And it's easy just to glaze over that and just go into the next season and say, okay, I have these races, I want to do these times, but go one step further and think about, you know, some tangible and intangible goals also.
Yeah. I also think just like, you know, a lot of people just ran NXR recently. A lot of high schoolers just ran NXR. A lot of college runners are done, except for the guys that are going to come straight back to run BU. Shout out Santa Clara Broncos. We are in the BU game now.
Whoa.
Indoor 5K. I think, you know, the younger you are, the more time you need to take off after the season to like reflect and truly recover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when you're so young and like you can bounce back quickly after pretty much anything, you know, I think it's just like important to like give yourself that time just to like relax and maybe focus on something else outside of running, versus like us, it's like we can almost like kind of get right back into it if we really wanted to. Cause I think maybe we're a little bit smarter about our training and we do like strive for that consistency year round. Versus like a young high schooler really only needs to be like hitting it hard for like a couple of weeks, maybe 4 to 6 weeks to like be ready for that big race, you know? You know, obviously there's got to be some training going into that. You can't just sit around for 3 months and expect to like train for a month and then be good to go. But I think it is important, especially from a mental perspective, just like really take your time in terms of getting back into it. Like you don't need to be hitting it really hard right away. You know, when you have your first race in March or April, right? So I think that's super important to allow that time.
For sure. And last question is, what's it like having teammates leave? This is definitely one that hits very close to home, and that's why it's a great question, is because we did lose, you know, 5 runners, which for a team of 12, or give or take, that's really tough. And it's definitely something where being here at Tinman Elite is something where like you really want to be here because there's not a ton of money that comes with it, you know? And like whether it was guys that were on no money or guys that were on a little bit of money, it's tough because there is such a close relationship with those people that are built. Like a lot of these guys that left, like were here for years. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like a 1-year experiment, like buffer type of thing, and then you transfer, you know? They were here for a really long time. Like, you know, like Goose was here pretty much at the inception of Tinman Elite. And like that one hurt really bad, you know, just because he was here for that long, you know? And then, you know, Brian is this steadfast presence that you always have, you know? And like Aaron, you wanted to see him have that breakout with us, you know what I mean? Which like I still hope he has with Roots, you know, now. And with Brian, you know, he was such a steadfast, consistent, probably our most consistent runner, for sure, you know, on the team. And to lose that presence is hard. And then Tori, of course, like having her female presence at practice is such a big deal. Right. Like it really is such a big deal. And then just Jermaine's infectious just personality. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a practice that went by that he didn't make everyone laugh or shake their head. Sure. Yeah. For better or worse. And like those are all personalities and things that you miss, and it hurts. So there's no sugarcoating it for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think, definitely like personally it was really hard to go through that. But I think from a team perspective, in terms of Tinman Elite as a whole, it just kind of reinforces kind of what I believe makes Tinman Elite great, is that the people that want to be here will be here. They'll find a way to be here. And if they don't want to be here, they'll leave for whatever reason. Nobody left for any particularly bad reason or reason that I would contest or say, oh, that's a bad reason to leave, you know? But I think that helps keep Tinman Elite. It's like the guys that want to be here will be here, and we'll train hard together. And people are in different like cycles of their life where it's like, yeah, for sure, it's not the priority to be on this team anymore. People have other priorities outside of running where it kind of just like takes them away from the team a little bit. And so you deal with those as you go. And, you know, like I said, personally, as you explained, like with everybody, it's really tough, you know, because everybody has those attributes. And, you know, for example, like I lived with Goose for basically 4 years. Like that's tough to see him leave. And now he's all the way in Thornton, so I don't see him every day like I used to. That's really hard, you know? And then I think I think the hardest thing for like me personally is like with like Brian and Aaron, like going over to like what feels like our neighbor, you know what I mean? Where it's like you're going over and living at your neighbor's house, all of a sudden you still see him, you know what I mean? And like that is tough, you know? It's tough for them and it's tough for us, you know, where it's like we're all like there's no malicious like, oh, I hope they suck now, you know what I mean? It's just tough when we'll still see him at Nihiwat track and stuff like that. And there's definitely that, you know, tension that comes with, you know, leaving anything, you know, there's like that air of awkwardness and, you know, like there's this familiarity there that's so deep. But then all of a sudden it's just different than what it was before. You need to like readjust. It almost feels like a breakup almost. You know, for sure. Just like, you just don't feel like you can almost like you can act the same, but it's just like, you know, that it's a different space now. And so it's like, there's that almost like hesitancy to like act in that same capacity that you used to as teammates, you know? And I love seeing everybody. Like I love, we saw Tori the other day. It was so great to see her, you know? I've been working with Brian on a project. So it's really good to see him. But yeah, I mean, it's just not quite the same as before, you know, just because like me and Brian and I, especially, we're just super close as teammates and as steeplechase partners, you know? So, and we talked to each other just about anything and everything when it came to our life and our goals and stuff. So that's like really difficult, but you know, at the same time, like I said, people want to be here, will be here. And if they don't, they have to go find something that's going to work for them. And that keeps us running well. And that's going to keep them running well, hopefully. For sure. And then like the silver lining here for us is like, yes, it was very hard to lose all of them, but it did force the team to like reestablish like why we all are here. Totally. And it like reestablished like, hey, like we can't let the team culture like slip anymore. You know what I mean? Because like it did like get bad at times where like, and that was the reason people left also, you know, was because like there wasn't this like feeling of joy for some of them to like be at practice anymore. That, and I know other people like, I think we all felt that at one point, you know, where that needed to change and we needed to address it head on. And it's tough, and adversity, like through adversity comes growth. And I think that this adversity has brought the team closer together.
For sure.
Like we've definitely been buzzing at practice about just the excitement people have again. You know what I mean? Like no one's dragging their feet coming to practice anymore. And there's definitely this like excitement that people want to be there. And, you know, it's definitely palpable that you can feel it,
for sure,
you know, and that's been a really great silver lining with all this. Like obviously didn't want to lose any of those guys, but with that has come this togetherness that we now feel. I think we all feel it. And it's also very exciting that we are bringing in potentially, you know, for sure 3, maybe even up to 5 new people. Like we're still, you know, waiting on 2 people to make their final decisions, like 2 people that are great All-American prospects out of college. So that's also exciting in the pipeline. So we're just going to see how that all plays out. But yeah, it's definitely a new era of Tinman,
sure,
I think, coming. And it's really exciting to bring in these new people because it will usher in, I think, a new era for...
I think so. And I think
past us.
The 8 that we have almost feel like a core again. Like you guys had your core 4 before you brought on new people. Like you guys were stable, like got along great, like basically brothers before you decided to add more people. And I feel like that's almost like what we needed, and it timed out perfectly where we were already recruiting people, where it's like, okay, the 8 of us are like really strong together again. And now there's no like cracks that, you know, when we do add people that are going to show of like,
they can matriculate easier.
Right. Yeah. Totally. So I'm really excited about new recruits. I'm excited about the people that we have currently, and the future of the team. So
Colin, thanks for the question. Thanks for making us talk about the stuff we maybe don't want to talk about, but I think it's important. And that's always been a mission of the team, is, you know, to be vulnerable and showcase as much as we can and talk candidly on it. So we'll finish on a lighter note. So there's this thing that we do in our team group chat quite a lot where we'll say TME as, where it is like Tinman Elite as candy or TME as cars. And there's just TME as Pokemon. You know, there's been so many now that have gone through the group chat. It's basically like a funny way to try to associate someone's personality or their physical characteristics, whatever they may be, with whatever that category is. So today we are going to do TME as Thanksgiving dishes. So we're going to associate a Thanksgiving dish with a team member. And Joey and I both made our list. So we're going to compare the two and see which ones we have as the same ones.
You start us off.
All right. I had Connor Winter as stuffing.
Why?
I don't know. That was just my first visceral response to saying that he is, like, I guess if I want to get like very metaphorical, like Connor does all the behind the scenes stuff for the team, and he does our finances, and he fills in
the gaps,
fills in all the gaps that we need.
Can we do the format where you say the dish and then you say who it is? So for example, you say stuffing,
gotcha,
Connor, and then I can say stuffing mine.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
My stuffing is Drew. And the reason why I say that is everybody has turkey, you know, like there's like, as a runner, everybody has turkey. Like everybody has goals, aspirations, like they want to run hard, et cetera, et cetera. But the stuffing almost like adds that little extra pizzazz to the to the dish, you know, where it's like, oh, this is actually like pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think from like a running perspective, the way I've seen Drew kind of grow up, he's always had that like little bit of extra stuffing when it comes to running. Like when he is on, you can't beat him in the last 50 meters. Like he will find something else and then something else and then something else to win a race. Like he's always had that, you know, and I like, to me, that's stuffing. Like the stuffing is like a nice little like surprise of like, I did not expect that, you know.
You put a lot of thought into this Thanksgiving dish.
I literally did it 3 minutes before we started. So Drew is my stuffing.
Nice. Okay. Cranberry sauce.
I put Austin.
I put myself.
I put Austin because cranberries are like a little tart
Yeah.
And Austin has like a bit more of like a stoic, like almost like
Yeah.
kind of like direct personality and way of communication,
That's kind of why I put myself though too.
but it's still good. Like
Yeah.
it's still,
I put myself
Truthful, you
because
know?
like yeah, not everybody loves it. But if you do love it, you really like it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why I put cranberry sauce, kind of like I don't
good
know, it's a little like a little sharper,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Type of thing to throw in there. Okay. I think this one will be the same. Apple pie.
Apple pie.
3, 2, 1.
Mark.
Reed. Dang it. Oh, I really thought we were going to be the same on that one.
Mark is
Reed is so apple pie. Come on.
Mark is an all-American apple
He
pie.
is, but
boy.
I should have told you this beforehand. I put Joan and Mark together
Okay.
and I put them as turkey.
Okay.
As like, they're the core, they're the coaches. Everyone's going to get a little piece of that. Like, no.
Wine.
Oh, man.
Cut.
That, fuck, that's a no context right there. Everyone's gonna get a little time.
That's why I
with
put
the coaches.
Reed is my turkey because
Damn it.
everybody is going to get a little bit.
Yeah, but you also get everyone's gonna get a little apple pie afterwards.
Yeah.
I guess not. I just thought Reed was all American man. So
That's fair. Yeah. I put Mark just because apple pie is just like 1950s
He is.
baseball
He
and Mark
is.
is 1950s
he is.
baseball.
That's
in a
good.
nutshell.
That's good. I can give you the tilt on that one.
Yeah.
All right, pumpkin pie. I said you.
I said me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got one. You are so pumpkin pie. Everyone likes it. You're gonna get a piece of that. You're gonna get a piece
Everybody's
of that.
going to want a piece of the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, Joe, you're very agreeable. Like maybe there's like if someone doesn't like you, I'm questioning them, and that's pumpkin pie for
right.
me. You know.
Yeah. Me too.
Is pumpkin pie is great, and if you don't like pumpkin pie or Joey,
Go fuck yourself.
maybe you should look in the mirror. All right.
That made me feel good about myself.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, really hoping you say something nice for me whenever you get to me.
You know I won't.
Yeah, oh,
Well,
man,
good thing I
I
know
better not be green beans or some bullshit. All right. Mashed potatoes.
I put Brogan.
Nice. That's
Just
a good one.
Iowa.
I can get behind that.
Just a strong, hearty meal.
For sure. I put Drew for this one
Yeah.
for similar reasons. Like just like a strong, hearty young man.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, steadfast, always there.
Right.
Next one, gravy.
I put you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll take gravy. I like gravy.
You got the pizzazz. You got a little
Yeah.
bit. You
Splash it. You splash it on anything.
chuck it on.
Splash it on everything.
If
Whole
somebody
plate.
puts gravy on,
Whole plate.
if somebody
just pisses off everyone.
if somebody doesn't know that there's gravy with the turkey and they see somebody pouring the gravy, they're like, I didn't know we had gravy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that is a nice little extra touch. And you always put on that little extra touch.
Yeah.
Everything anybody else does. If you're going to do it, you're going to put a nice little extra touch to it.
Thank you.
So that's why you're gravy.
Thank you, brother. I put Brogan as gravy. Once again, this was the same thing as Connor. I didn't really have a reason other than I just felt Brogan's gravy. All right. This one, I think we're the same too. Okay. Mac and cheese. 3, 2, 1.
Antonio.
Max.
Oh.
Max is so mac and cheese, and you're just wrong about it, I'll tell you. No, Max is mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese
Through and
is like
through.
the kid's dish, and Antonio is a child.
Damn it. That is a good way to look at it. See, that's
Antonio
why,
is
this
sitting
is
at
why it's doing this, like, as thing is so good. It's
Antonio's
because
sitting at the
once
kids'
you get
table
an
with the mac
explanation
and
for
cheese.
something,
Yeah.
it's so much better.
Why is it Max?
I feel like this is kind of the pumpkin pie thing with you again, is that, like, everyone's kind of pumped that mac and cheese is there.
Right.
You're like, wow, I didn't think we needed mac and cheese, but without mac and cheese, this meal probably would have sucked.
Sucks.
And that's kind of Tinman elite without Max.
Yeah,
You know, like if we were just this running team and we didn't have Max here, Tinman elite would not be very cool.
Yeah, right.
We wouldn't get any cool pictures or videos
Right.
or any social media stuff.
iPhone videos.
The
AI, we could have done it all.
well, now we can. Yeah. So that's why I had mac and cheese for Max. Turkey. I guess we did turkey. You had
Yeah,
Reed, I had
put
Joan and
Reed.
Mark. Okay.
You got to have turkey at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Got to have Reed at practice.
That is true. Except skills and drills day.
Except skills and drills.
You don't want to see Reed going over wickets. I don't want to see Reed going over wickets.
Did you see the TikTok?
No, I didn't.
I mean, a little
gotta see it.
TikTok.
Okay, shout out. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, TikTok right there.
TikTok. I'm 28 years old and I'm making TikToks for a running team.
Whoa, admin reveal.
Whoa. Yo, no context.
Austin. I blew that one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to switch it up. Sweet potato casserole. I put Antonio for this one.
I put Joan.
Nice. And then
Go ahead.
green beans.
Well, explain why.
No, we gotta keep moving through this segment.
think
We're way over time
Joan's
already.
Sweet potato casserole.
And that's it. Antonio's sweet.
All right.
Antonio's sweet. Got a little marshmallow on top.
All right.
Like, never tell a lie. That's the thing I love about Antonio is like he could not lie to anyone if he tried.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's 100% true.
And sweet potato casserole is one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah.
Got the melted marshmallows on top. Can't
Yeah.
beat it. Green beans.
Go ahead.
I put Austin.
I put Connor.
I put green beans for Austin purely for the physical thing of Austin being like very lanky and straight. You know what I mean? Straight laced.
Mr.
And
Asparagus.
green bean. I just see it. Put a picture of Austin here and a green bean there.
Veggie tails.
Same thing. Yeah, Veggie Tales. Austin, green bean, Veggie Tales. Yeah. Same thing together. It's like a Rick and Morty mashup.
I put Connor because it's like
He's an old man. Old man.
Yeah, it's a
like
bit of an old man dish. It's also just like a bit of like a crunchy, like I don't know. Connor's just like a hard.
Connor is hard and cut.
And thanks for listening. It's just kind of like I don't know. He's just green beans to me. He's good for you.
Yes.
I like that better.
Green beans are good for you.
Redo. I said Connor.
This is why we have you here, Max, is because we need some.
I said Connor because he's good for you.
Nice. That's a great line.
Everybody gets a slice.
You need Connor in your life. You need to have some greens at Thanksgiving because if you're just getting too much gravy and cholesterol in there, like you're not going to be feeling good.
Right.
And you need the balance
It's also
of the green beans in there.
It's also the only thing on this list that Connor could probably eat.
Boom roasted.
Boom roasted.
Boom roasted.
Connor, your gut sucks. Boom roasted.
I mean, the one thing I forgot is with my Thanksgiving meal, I always have triple magnesium pillar. Shout out our sponsor for this podcast. Pillar Performance is my go-to supplement for recovery, for sleep, for everything you need. They're doing a Black Friday sale, 2-for-1 micros. Get your immunity supplement, your magnesium supplement, whatever you need, and you'll get one free. And they are a great brand that have been supporting me and this podcast for over a year now. And I think I see more and more professional runners using it, sponsored and non-sponsored, and the proof is in the pudding. Try it out. You will not be disappointed. Test out their Black Friday deal. Get 15% off your first order. Tin Talk. Use the promo code. We'd really appreciate the support and keep this podcast going because we know their support definitely keeps us going, and these nice microphone equipments, everything we got here. Shout out Pillar Performance. They have a huge line of products from immunity, joint, pills, all sorts of great stuff. So
That was your best ad read, and it was totally off the cuff.
yeah, I knew I had to do it at the end, and I thought that just doing a little seamless transition there, people thought I was going to keep talking about Thanksgiving, then bang, ad in their face.
Right, yeah. It's a staple for
I would
Thanksgiving.
probably talk about Pillar even if they weren't giving me ad reads. That's
Yeah.
how much I like Pillar.
Well, the one thing I'm wondering is that they sponsor the podcast. Yeah, I don't have any Pillar products to show for it.
They
yet.
did ship it, so they're an Australian-based company. You can get it at thefeed.com in the US. But they did just send me a huge parcel from Australia that I needed to sign for. And now I need to go pick up at like a loading zone.
Yeah.
So that's where it is. But we're also going to do a Pillar giveaway. If you are still listening to this podcast, you have exclusive rights to a giveaway. Giveaway. If anyone gets that reference, YouTube niche audience, we'll get that. But yeah, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a Pillar giveaway. All you have to do is reshare a Tin Talk post or Tinman Elite post talking about the podcast. Shout us out. Link, whatever it is, you'll be entered to win, and we're going to send you some Pillar, and you're going to start running faster, sleeping better, recovery, feeling good, staying healthy. Everything you need in the sport of running, you can get through Pillar. So check them out. support the pod. Thank you guys so much for listening.
I need some magnesium. I'm gonna say it before the pod's over.
You do need some.
Yeah.
Everyone needs some. I think magnesium is
No,
the
I need
supplement.
some. I need some.
Yeah. Well,
Great for sleep.
Well, if you repost one of these things, you might get a chance
To win.
to win giveaway. That would make it really easy for me because then I wouldn't have to ship anything out.
I don't do this for fun. I do this.
I got you. I will do that. All right. If you're still listening, you're a real one. I would really appreciate if you followed on Spotify, subscribed on YouTube. It really helps us with all the metrics and analytics here. Follow on Instagram, Tin Talk Pod. Thank you guys so much. This is our new platform. We're going to condense this in like 20 minutes somehow before guests come on the pod. Like, we're going to be talking about training so fast, your head's going to explode. So I hope you like this expanded version of what is to come in your weekly, every Wednesday Tin Talk Pod episodes. Thank you guys so much, and tune in next time.
Bada bing.
Side shuffle video.